Hi traders, this is Elite Currency. My name is Chris. Today again a video quicker than usual because of the FOMC, and that did change the market so much, the Forex market, such a big impact that we're going to take a look again. Alright, so last night there was the FOMC statement and the interest rate from the US. Of course, that always has a big impact indeed. And well, basically, technically, I was talking about the fact that the euro dollar could stay in a longer range and bounce off the 78.6 fib for a move down. That did indeed happen. Of course, the trigger was the FOMC, but basically, the FOMC kind of followed the technicals we were looking at. Bounced neatly at 120.30 area indeed, and the price is back at the support zone, breaking this support trend line. So I was expecting already a bigger range on Sunday last weekend when I was talking about the euro dollar. And you might be wondering why. Well, I don't explain always like the exact details why I have this analysis, because that would take too long. It would be a video that could take an hour if I go into all these details. So I just normally try to, in these videos, give you kind of the summary. But basically, it's based on patterns, chart patterns, wave patterns, etc., market structure, etc. And indeed, we got the bigger, basically, head and shoulders pattern. Now the neckline is from here to here, right? So we can draw a line like that. It's more or less horizontal, and that has not been broken yet. So that's still intact. However, considering the momentum, we gotta be on guard for the fact that this could be an A, we could get a B, and there could be a C down to these basically targets, down at minus 272, 117.50, even lower, minus 61.8 at 116.75. Now, because this is sideways, this move up does not necessarily have to find a rejection, because ultimately it's still going sideways. We're at the bottom of a sideways range, so going short nor long I think is appealing because there's a strong bearish candle, yet it is at support. So I would wait for more info. What I would be waiting for, if we see some kind of rising wedge here like this, for instance, that would be an interesting kind of pattern for a short back down and perhaps even a break back to the minus 272 target. Stuff like that would help. Or if we go to the 1 hour chart, for instance, and we see a triangle or a bear flag, all these patterns help. Definitely bearish momentum, but I think I would like to see a bit more information. Or if, for instance, we see strong, aggressive bullish candles like this, and then a bull flag, that would indicate to me that this was just kind of a correction during the news event, and that's it. So I need to see more information because of the sideways range, basically. Let's move over to the euro pound. Euro pound did have a good break and continue. Now kind of struggling a little bit with the bottom. So nothing new. If you're in that trade, like I am, then best is probably to put the stop loss here above this candle high and hope that it just continues to break, or even maybe just above this tops like this. If not, I think it's best to wait and see what happens. But this was a good trade, a good break. Dollar yen made a good break too, but that was again during the news event, difficult to trade that break. I was expecting a bigger ABC correction if it breaks below this bottom, which it really didn't, and it therefore continued with the trend. We did warn, I think, if I remember correctly, that the trend can always still continue, even though you might expect a bigger correction. We didn't break below the support. Now the dollar yen at 112.50, strong psychological round level. I would be cautious at this point, but it could break. If it does, we got this trend line to break above, and if it on a 50-minute chart, for instance, manages to break above this small bull flag, there could be another breakout and continuation. On the 1 hour chart, we see a couple of candles, 5 candles at this moment. So probably a candle close above 112.50 with a good hourly or 4 hour candle could be enough for the dollar yen to continue up to 113. Think about these quarter and round levels. I think that makes the most sense. 113, 113.50. Of course, you can always use fibs and place a fib from here to here, right? Or let's put it here, and yeah, around 113 probably is a good target. Pound dollar made the upside that I was expecting. All right, made the break, pullback, continue. It just missed my target by about 18 pips, so I didn't get out on that one. It was close. I had the target at 113.72-ish. Not 113, sorry, 136.72. But then it turned because of the news event, and it made a strong downside. So this looks like it's a wave 3 finished to me. The upside was good, but just went a little bit shy of the target, the first target, the main target. Now I think it's basically the same, looking for kind of a pattern. It is making a pattern, in fact, just like we had here a pattern. And the break of that pattern should be a trade that is worth taking. Now, basically, price could still make an upside like this, then downside, and continue this flag before it breaks. So that's something to be aware of. On the 4-hour chart, we see a pretty strong bearish engulfing twin. On the daily chart, we see a big wick. So from this perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bigger retracement, and we probably could put a fib from this bottom to this top, and you can see nicely that the price stopped at the 23.6 fib. So if it does break, I think there's a good space between the 23.6 and the 38.2 fib for a bearish continuation. This could be an A, B, C like this, and price could then bounce back at the C perhaps, right? Back to the upside, I mean. So that's something that could happen on the pound, waiting for this kind of potential to happen on the pound dollar. Let's see if that does occur. Of course, if price starts to show strong bullish candles, once again, I do want to emphasize that the trend is still up, although there is bearish momentum. So this is a bit of a situation where it's awkward, let's say, right? Because and we can get trapped quickly. So be careful. And if there are strong price action signals that appear in either way, take them seriously. If it's upside, don't underestimate that either. If there's a strong bullish candle, and don't start looking for shorts. In fact, if you see 3 candles like this going to the upside, and you see a bull flag, right, that could be equally set up for upside. So Aussie, more or less the same story. I was talking about the upside on a 50-minute chart continuation. I said the 50-minute chart on purpose because of the FOMC, and that there could be kind of a momentum continuation. Why? Because price was in a momentum, and that happened. So there was good 40 pips or so, I think, after the breakout from here to here, even more, 70. And that momentum lasted well, nicely. You can see good momentum here. But then, of course, it broke with the FOMC. Yet again, a situation where that changed the dynamic. And it failed. Basically, I was talking about retest of this top. It did retest it and failed to break it. So we're getting basically, in my view, kind of a hook back for more potential downside. So we could put a fib on this. It seems to be making a bigger correction. And really the target, I think, could be all the way down at the 78.90, the first target, the minus 272 target there. So from this perspective, let me get rid of these trend lines now. It could be a bigger ABC correction like this, and it's still at support at that level because of these bottoms here. So for the moment, looking for, I would say even on a 50-minute chart, potential bear flags and continuations. It's okay. It broke already this bottom. I would say on the pound dollar probably need a 1-hour break. On the Aussie, 50-minute break could be enough. Definitely hourly too, of course. That would be fine as well. And looking for continuation. Same on the excuse me. Same on the Kiwi. Basically, I don't want to repeat myself, but that could be the same scenario. We could look at the Odd New Zealand quickly to see which one might be more interesting, and looks like the odd USD short could be more interesting because the Odd New Zealand is in a downtrend, so would prefer that. Dollar CAD upside, not that interesting. Perhaps it is at the long-term moving average. Still looks like it's at resistance. Gold at a major bouncing spot, waiting for the reaction to that spot first of all. Euro yen is interesting because it basically during FOMC went sideways. I talked about the fact that it could go sideways or make a correction down to the minus 61.8 target. So far, it has chosen to go sideways. I am mostly interested in either trading it at the minus 61.8 target to the upside, waiting for a price candlestick confirmation pattern at 132.50-ish for a bounce, or a breakout above this trend line. The trend line, if we zoom in, right, to this particular pattern, we can see is connecting multiple resistance spots. So I'll be looking for a candle close that could break above this resistance spot around 133.60, 133.75. Candle like that breaking above it on the 1-hour, 4-hour chart, I think has a decent chance of continuing higher. Nothing is a guarantee in the Forex market, of course, but I think that looks pretty decent for continuation, and we could put a fib then from here to here and take away this one, and there could be a continuation up to 135. All right, so Let's see if that happens. Pound yen did continue higher as expected, but of course the move up was small for pound yen terms, 150 pips so far. Nothing really compared to this rally, and therefore I think there's still a chance that it could continue higher. Looking at the moving averages, you can see it's very aligned to the upside, very bullish. This was a sideways zone within that bullish move, but mega momentum. So if it manages to break, let me zoom in, if it manages to break above this trend line, it could be the same story for the pound yen upside. Now we have to be careful. The pound dollar looks weak, the euro dollar looks weak, so but basically euro yen, pound yen still looking bullish. Euro New Zealand, for those that maybe had the guts to take this bullish candle, great job. If you didn't, no problem. It did go below my expected support zone of 162.50, so I can imagine that that deeper retracement maybe scared you. But anyone who took the bounce is doing well, and I think that there could be some space still to the higher resistance, and it could be a hook back continue. This is a very dangerous trade because of the downtrend though, but this reversal might happen. But I think it's dangerous. It really depends on how price responds in this resistance zone at this moment. We got 5-6 candles. If I want to trade the bounce here, I would really need to see some slow candlestick reactions like this before thinking about that. The euro looks a bit better because of the odd New Zealand. The euro is bouncing back further, but all in all, the euro is in a range, so I don't think that looks too interesting. Pound odd is different. Very quick look at my SWOT template, and you can see that basically price made a pullback here to the 5th level of the Wiz, and is showing some potential setups here. I don't have the arrow on the chart, but I think the arrow is somewhere here in the blue candle here. That's set up for upside, so SWOT traders are maybe in that trade already. New Zealand yen had the 5th signal here, and also that, as you can see, went well with some good upside. Anyone trail stopping this fractal is still in that trade, and hopefully it will still get a bounce. Alright, that was a very quick update here of the market. For more free info, take a look at elitecurrency.com, and of course, looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers!